What if my worker stops showing up? Have a backup plan listing people to call if a worker doesn't arrive as scheduled. Your support broker can help you make a backup plan. If a worker stops showing up, end their employment, ask for keys back, and notify your support broker and FMS. Okay, Erica. Now let's talk a little about your experience with backup plans and self-direction. How important is it to have a backup plan if you are self-directing?
Honestly, Laura, for a long time, I didn't think they were that important. If one of my workers needs time off or can't come in, I require that they find their own replacement. If someone doesn't show up, I call one of my other workers. It's the main reason I have so many workers, so I have a lot of different people to call. However, if none of them can come in, I am lucky enough to live with a friend who is my last resort backup. I do have to say, my opinion about backup plans changed a couple of years ago, though. I had a coworker who partnered with a participant who had autism. He didn't use words to speak. His mom was his guardian and worker. There was a backup plan in place, but it was kind of a joke. His sister, who lived in another state, was the backup. The mom died very unexpectedly in her sleep, and the participant's life was a fiasco. He suddenly was without his mom, guardian, and caregiver. He was struggling. Eventually, things were put into place so he could live in an adult family home with 24-hour care, and he is doing well. It was a very rocky 2 years for him. I know it's scary to think about our friends and family not being around anymore, but it could happen and we need to be prepared for it.
That sounds really scary for him, as well as the people supporting him. I'm glad it all worked out in the end, but it sounds like a frightening journey. It really highlights the importance of identifying a backup plan and using your support team to create one. What if I have issues with my workers? Sometimes workers don't do things either the way you would like them done or when you need them done. You can provide coaching to your worker to help your worker understand your needs and how to meet them. If a worker is not a good match for you, and this cannot be resolved with coaching, you may need to fire them. Be professional and private and explain the decision calmly. Ask the worker to return any keys of yours they have. Tell your support broker and your FMS. Then recruit a new worker. Solving issues with workers can be intimidating. Since you've been hiring your own workers for 24 years, what advice would you give to people, Erica?
First, if the issue is fixable, try to fix it by providing more training or adjusting the schedule or different things like that. If it can't be fixed, have the conversation in a private setting, but have someone with you for safety reasons. You really don't know how the worker will react. Stay calm no matter what the worker says. It's never okay to swear or scream. Make sure you're being respectful no matter what the worker says. I know the worker doesn't always want to sign, but try to get the conversation documented with signatures from everyone at the meeting. Unfortunately, I have had to fire people before. It isn't fun. I try to work with workers to change what is wrong, but sometimes it doesn't work. I had a worker that every other week or so wouldn't wake up to come to work. I would have to call and wake her up. Then she would be about 30 to 40 minutes late for me in the morning, which made me late for work. I tried to talk to her. I tried adjusting her schedule to better fit her needs. It still didn't work. So I sat down with her to discuss that if the behavior didn't change, she would be fired. She said she understood and would get better. Unfortunately, she didn't get better. Finally, we sat down and discussed her performance and if this was the right job for her. She decided it wasn't, so she gave notice and left.
It sounds really tricky, but also so important since you ultimately need to make sure your needs are being met. And if your worker isn't a good fit to meet your needs, you'll need to find another.
That's right, Laura. I'm in charge of getting my needs met. And with self direction, I can change workers if they aren't the right fit for me. Sometimes this can be challenging, but it's worth it in the end.
Remember, in self-direction, you're not in it alone. You have support throughout the process. Your support broker, FMS, and case manager are all there to help you along the way.